Welcome back, everyone. This is MandoAllDay, back with another video. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at Chris Jericho. This is from the AEW Unrivaled collection. As always, we're going to be taking a look at the figure itself in terms of the articulation, sculpture, and paint, and if it's worth your purchase or not. But before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button and support channel to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So, let's take a look at the box. This is the front of the box looks like. This side. The back, the other side, top, and bottom. Alright, now let's take a look at the figure outside the box. As always with the AEW figures, they always come with good looking accessories, man, and this one is up there in the top, in my opinion. Look at that jacket. I do like the jacket of it. The looks very cool. The detail on the spikes look cool. Also, that paint here of the J, obviously for Jericho, looks very cool too. I do like how the bottom has a glossy red to it, which looks very cool. And of course, the image in the back of the jacket. And again, I do like the jacket. It's a good looking jacket. And again, kudos to AEW, man. Their accessories is top notch, man. Whoever's doing these accessories, I hope to give it to McFarlane because some of these accessories look really cool, man. This is one of them right here. Really cool. It does come with a hat. Plain looking hat. Not much going on with the hat. I wish this hat had a little bit like a red mark to it. Similar to the jacket. That way they have the consistency kind of like look to it. But it is what it is. And this figure does also come with a scarf. Which you can actually remove it. Which I did not even know. I was looking at it around before making this part of the video, and I was like, I wonder if you can remove it, and you can. So again, clean looking scarf, bright and silver, pretty cool. And again, AEW with their accessories, killing it, man. Anyways, let's get on to this figure, and I gotta say, the head sculpture is very cool, man. I really like it, but that paint on this figure looks very cool, man. I like this. I saw this figure, and with that jacket on, with Jericho, it looks really cool, man. But even underneath the jacket, it looks very cool. That paint, it looks really good. The paint on his teeth, of course, the black paint on there looks good. In terms of the hair texture, again, looks clean, looks simple, but again, it looks good. In terms of the hair sculpture, head articulation, left, right, it's good. Up, down, not the greatest, but left and right is good. So overall, though, the head sculpture looks good. The paint's good. I really like this paint. And in terms of the articulation on the head, not the greatest, but it'll do for now. Shoulder articulation, it's good. Bicep, good. Elbows, good. And of course, wrist, good. And I gotta say though, very detailed. When it comes to, again, AEW figures, in terms of paint, like especially with tattoos, they kill it, man. They really kill it. This looks really cool, man. Just look at that detail on the tattoo. Again, AEW is killing it. The only one downside is, and I'll talk about it towards the end, is I have to admit it though, it's the downside, but again, I'll talk about it towards the end, but that tattoo, it looks really cool, man. I really dig it. Also on his right arm, you can see a little bit of tattoo there. Not much going on to it, but very simple. And of course his wrist does have painted black, and of course his left hand has this weird tattoo right there. You guys can see that. So overall, in terms of the articulation of the arm, it's good. Of course, the sculpture is very similar to like many other the AEW figures or wrestling figures. It looks plain, looks clean, but in terms of actual paint, I really like it. Torso articulation, very good. And I gotta say though, the paint looks good too. You got here the inner circle. Very cool. I really like this when the inner circle was active. Now it's whatever it is now because I don't really keep up with AEW. But I really like it, man. Overall, the upper body looks really good for Jericho. They did a really good job with Jericho, man. The paint on his face. Of course, that paint with all his tattoos and the little detail right here on his hands look very good, man. I really like the upper body on this figure. It looks really good and did a fantastic job in my opinion. Let's take a look at the leg articulation. It's good. Thighs, good. Knees, good. Boots, ankles, good. And of course, the boots on there, but no toe articulation. But in terms of the legs, very clean, plain looking wrestling legs. Not much going on to it, just black. I wish there was more to it, but again, this is what Jericho wears. So overall, it looks good. It's a little kind of, I don't know if it's maybe a paint QA issue. Not that big of a deal, but boots right there. Or my bad. There you go, boots right there. Looks clean, looks simple. And of course, the knee pads, you can kind of move around a little bit. So overall, man, I really like this figure. This is a really, really good figure, man. I can't praise this enough. It really looks good. Like, the more I look at it, the more I'm just like, man, top notch. And with the accessories of course, the hat and the cool looking jacket, man. Like, this is to me a must have. If you are a wrestling figure fanatic or collector, I should say, even AEW, definitely recommend getting Jericho. Jericho looks really, really cool, man. I really dig this figure. And in my opinion, is it worth the purchase price? Yes, I definitely would recommend getting this figure. Now, I will talk about this. This is what I want to talk about. Is that with AEW, the figure, so they're increasing the pricing now. This one cost me $23. So, you know, it's getting up there. It's getting pricey. If they're going to continue increasing the prices, then I'm going to have to be a little more picky because, again, it's a good-looking figure, but the more they keep going up the prices, I might have to kind of dig it down and be like, hey, man, it's a cool figure, but, you know, if you're going to go for $25, $26, you're getting at the verge where it's like, okay, it might not even be worth the price. But so far, for this figure, for the price that I paid for $23, with all the sculpture, design, paint detail, and all the accessories, the cool-looking accessories, I think it's really worth the purchase, in my opinion. Now, let's take a look at here. Sorry about that, there was a little technical issues here. Now let's take a look at here, Jon Moxley. So again, almost the same height. I think Jon Moxley is just like a tad bit taller, just a little bit, but nonetheless, so almost same height. And just for shits and giggles, and if you're new to my channel, I mainly do DC figures, but I figured I do have some Western figures, but I figured, you know what, let's just have some fun and compare to other figures that I have here. But here we have Aquaman, and I gotta say, they're almost the same height. I would say, if anything, let me move this trident a little bit. In terms of the height difference, I would say, Aquaman's a little bit, actually, you know, he's actually shorter. Just a bit, though. Just a smudge, though. But, cool looking, and of course, just for shits and giggle, we have here my big boy, who's actually a wrestler in the comics. If you don't know, Bane is a wrestler in the comics. We have Bane here next to Jericho. And of course, when you compare Bane to Jericho, he looks small in comparison. But nonetheless, though, I really like Jericho. I think they did a fantastic job with Jericho. And like I said, cool looking figure. I really, really like the figure. Thumbs up for me. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with me on this figure? Do you plan to purchase this figure? Or did you already purchase this figure? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not support channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So it includes an overview of Chris Jericho from the AEW Unrivaled collection, and on to the next one.